Sagittarius, you have exactly 24 hours to prepare. Not to run, not to defend, but to be ready. To welcome three truths that will shake the very foundation of your inner world. A triumph of instinct, a confession from the heart, and a financial opportunity that could flip your destiny upside down. This is not a warning. This is a whisper from the universe, a signal that the moment you've been waiting for has arrived. You may not even realize it, but through all this time, you've walked through challenges no one else could see. You've fought silently, loved quietly, and chosen to keep moving forward when everything around you told you to give up. And now, the universe has been watching, and it is ready to reward. The signs have already begun. Your heart is starting to beat to a new rhythm. Something or someone is coming toward you with a confession that has never been spoken aloud. You have 24 hours. Not to be afraid, but to open your heart. Because when every door opens at once, the only thing that matters is, will you dare to walk through? And if your heart is already trembling to a different rhythm, if you feel like something is waiting for you, just beyond the invisible veil of reality, then know this, you are not alone. Because this transformation isn't only happening around you, it's beginning deep within you. In the deepest layer, where your soul is rising, more powerful than ever. Listen closely, because this is where the journey truly begins. Sagittarius, not everyone can see what's stirring inside you. You are a symbol of light, of freedom, of truth. But even a soul that belongs to the sky has moments of breathless silence, moments when no one stays, when the questions inside you stop having answers, when every goal starts to feel distant, and every dream that once soared suddenly crashes at your feet. If you're feeling that now, know this. It is not collapse. It is awakening. Something is rising from within you. A quiet, persistent vibration like a whisper echoing through lifetimes. Maybe you cannot name it yet, but you feel it. Every morning you wake, every night you lay down, it calls to you. Remember who you truly are. You are in a phase where every feeling of being not okay is not a problem, but a signal. A sign that your soul is shedding old skin, breaking free from the cocoon of fitting in, of expectations, of the roles you once believed were you. Right now, the universe is not sending you answers, it's sending you a mirror. And in that mirror, you won't see the face of yesterday. You'll see the version of you you've always avoided looking at, the wildest, truest, most radiant version of your soul. The High Priestess, guardian of the subconscious, has appeared in today's reading as a message that could not be more clear. You already know, you've always known, but you need to pause, to remember. Lately, you may have been living by logic wrapped in philosophy, in freedom, in reasoning. But your soul doesn't speak in language, it speaks through intuition, through dreams, through the tears you shed without knowing why, through the suffocating feeling of staying near something that no longer fits, through the restlessness of a soul confined in a reality too small for its vision. The Hermit is the card that mirrors you right now, not because you want to be alone, but because you're being pulled inward. This is a time when the universe gently removes you from the noise, from hollow joys, so you can face the one question that truly matters. Who are you when you're not playing any role? Let yourself be still. Not to escape, but to listen. Not to run, but to return. The truth you've been seeking out there has always been within. And now, you are being called into a journey of remembrance, to reclaim every piece of your soul you abandoned on the road to becoming acceptable. Have you ever lost yourself just to belong to someone else? Ever folded up a dream, silenced your voice, buried your feelings, just to keep the peace? Ever ignored your intuition, only to discover your heart was right all along? If your answer is yes, then congratulations. Because this inner earthquake you feel today is not here to break you. It's here to wake you, not to hurt you, but to remind you. It's time to live by the rhythm of your heart, unapologetically. The universe's message for you today is this. Today, I welcome my rebirth. Say it every morning. Say it when you feel lost. Say it when you feel disconnected from the world. Write it down. Place it somewhere you can see it, because you don't need more information. You need to reactivate the memory of your soul. Rebirth does not come from a miracle outside of you. It comes from fully embracing who you are, including the scars, the unfinished parts, and even the pieces you once thought made you weak. Sagittarius, you are not just a bearer of wisdom, you are a carrier of fire. But you cannot offer your light to the world while hiding the torch burning within your own chest. Reflect on the signs you've been receiving lately. Repeating, vivid dreams? A sense of detachment from places you once loved? A strange restlessness when you think about the future? Or the feeling that something huge is about to happen, though you can't name it yet? They are not random. They are not wrong. They are right on time. The spiritual lesson now is not in running, but in witnessing. Witnessing your fear, your anger, even the silent desires you once buried. Sit with them. Don't try to change them. Simply say, I see you, and I am not afraid of you anymore. That is the moment when old energy begins to unravel. That is when you stop fighting yourself. And it is also when you start reclaiming the power that has been asleep for far too long. Sagittarius, if you feel like you're standing at a spiritual crossroads, don't rush to choose. Be still. Because sometimes, stillness is the only way to hear the voice of your heart, the voice that will lead you out of the maze and back into the light. The universe is not forcing you to change. It's gently suggesting you can live bigger, shine brighter, be truer to your soul. If you dare. And you know what? You are ready. You've just been needing to hear that one more time. Sagittarius, there are things in your heart that you've never spoken, not because you didn't know how, but because you thought, what would change if I said it out loud? You're a free spirit. You fear being tied down. But what people don't always see is that behind that wild, untamed aura is a heart that's been waiting for a very, very long time. You've loved, you've trusted. You once believed someone would stay forever. But they left. Not because you did anything wrong, but because they weren't mature enough to stand beside someone as radiant as you. Maybe you've already learned how to smile and keep walking. You've gotten used to being the stronger one in relationships. You're the one who forgives first, who walks away first, who lets it all go as if it never really mattered. But today, what you thought you'd forgotten is quietly making its way back. The Six of Cups has appeared, opening a chapter of memory that was never truly closed. Someone from the past, or a deeply buried emotional bond, is starting to stir again. Not through bold actions, but through subtle signals. A short message, an old song that plays by accident, a familiar scent in a crowded street, a dream where they appear, and you wake up with a heart caught in your throat. The Page of Cups arrives like the soul of that person softly knocking. Not loudly, not urgently, but with sincerity. They bring a confession, one that should have been spoken long ago. So why now? Because you've changed. You're no longer the vulnerable version of yourself they once knew. You've walked through the fire, endured the silence, learned how to love yourself without needing anyone's permission. And it's precisely when you stop waiting that true love finds its way back to you. Not every old relationship is meant to be rekindled, but some connections never truly ended. They just never had the chance to fully live. This time, they may not be here to stay forever, but to help you heal what was left unfinished. Let's pause and look back a little. Have you ever loved someone whose name was never spoken out loud? Have you ever tried harder than they did and still ended up being the one left behind? Have you ever chosen to just let go because it was the only way to keep your peace? If yes, then this confession that's coming is not just from them. It's for you. You'll be reminded that what you felt was real. And sometimes, that truth matters even more than whether they return. The Two of Cups, soulmate energy, shows that you are now standing at a fork in the emotional road. Do you continue alone, or do you dare to open your heart to a connection that is free, authentic, and without control? What's different this time? This time, you don't need a role to play. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to change to be loved. If someone comes now, they'll choose you because you are you, not dimming your light, not shrinking your wings. The Hanged Man in this reading reveals a call to shift your perspective about love. Not everyone who loves you is meant to stay, and not everyone who leaves is betraying you. Some people come only to teach you how to love yourself. Picture this. You once had a friend, someone who used to be close. You shared everything. But because of a misunderstanding, you stopped talking. Years later, you meet again. They don't apologize, they don't explain, they just say, I still remember those days. And in that moment, you realize a part of you does too. Not because you want to go back, but because it deserves to be closed the right way. Sagittarius, true healing doesn't come from someone returning. It comes from the moment you embrace your entire emotional journey without judgment. You are not wrong for loving. You are not weak for waiting. You are not foolish for forgiving. You are simply learning how to become a deeper version of yourself. And maybe someone new is about to enter your life. A person with a gentle presence, free-spirited, not loud or flashy. They might not be the fairy tale kind, but they'll be real. They'll see you, and they won't fear your light. This time, let your heart be loved the way it has always wanted, not the way the world taught you to expect. Here's a small healing ritual you can try. Take a piece of paper and write down the names of everyone you've ever loved, even the ones who never became a real relationship. And under each name, write, "Thank you for teaching me something about love. I forgive you, and I choose to move on." Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free from what still lingers in your memory. The universe has a message for you today. Feelings are not something to hide. They are the path back to yourself. Don't be afraid if your heart starts to stir again. Don't feel weak for wanting someone by your side. And please, don't close your heart just because someone once didn't know how to hold it. Sagittarius, you were not born to walk this path alone forever. You were born to experience love in a way that is vast, authentic, and completely your own. And if you are still here reading these words, then trust this. A confession is on its way to you. But the more important question is, are you ready to hear it? And Sagittarius, if no one has said this to you today, then let me be the first. You've done so well. Not everyone has the strength to get back up after falling. Not everyone knows how to keep the flame burning when everything around them is clouded in fog. But you did. You are not just a dreamer. You are someone who takes action, even when no one else believes in your vision. You don't wait for life to be stable before you take your first step. You make the step and then redefine what stability even means. And because you've come so far, the universe is now opening a turning point in your career, your finances, your purpose. The Ace of Wands appears like a glowing invitation. A door is opening, but it's up to you to step toward it. It may not arrive with loud knocks or fireworks. It may whisper, an unexpected offer of collaboration, a small project with big potential. An opportunity you once turned down because you didn't believe you were ready. Sagittarius, you are the sign of motion, of vision, of fire that ignites without fear. But this time, your lesson isn't just about starting. It's about staying committed to what's starting now. The Seven of Swords carries a gentle but powerful truth. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't devalue your ideas just because they haven't bloomed yet. Have you ever caught yourself wondering, am I even on the right path? Why do others succeed faster when I try harder? Am I really good enough to ask for more? If yes, you're not alone. And the universe is not silent. Its message for you today is this. True success isn't something you chase. It's something you become. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just have to agree with yourself that you are already enough. Take a moment and look back on your career journey. Have you ever started from zero? Have you learned through failure? Have you ever done the work simply because you loved it, not for the money? If your answer is yes, then you already have something most people only dream of, resilience. And that is something no one can buy with money. The Page of Wands enters now with a fresh burst of energy. It's a soft encouragement to try something just a little different from your usual patterns. It doesn't have to be grand. You just need to begin again with a new state of heart. For example, if you're a content creator, try a format you've always thought no one would care about. If you're job hunting, apply to a company you once thought was too far ahead. If you're freelancing, raise your rates. Try it. You don't need anyone's permission. You just need to give yourself the freedom to expand. And now, a few questions for you to reflect on, and perhaps to help us connect more deeply. Have you ever experienced a career shift that surprised even you? What do you feel is holding you back financially right now? If you could start over, what job would you try first? Share your answers below. You never know who might be touched by the story you carry within you. And if you're wondering, Is this worth believing in? Then the answer is, no one truly knows the future. But you know you can't stand still forever. The next chapter of your life doesn't require you to have everything figured out. It only asks for one thing: the courage to take the first step. You've come so far, Sagittarius, and now it's time to lift your head and walk into the unknown with a heart full of light. Dear Sagittarius, here's a truth that may be hard to hear, but deeply necessary. Not everyone will celebrate your light. Have you noticed? The further you rise, the clearer your success becomes. The more a few people begin to keep their distance, the compliments stop, the support fades. You start getting strange glances, awkward silence, or throwaway comments like, "You've changed, huh? Guess you're too busy now for the old crew." And you wonder, why? You didn't do anything wrong. You're just living your truth. You're just growing. You're just evolving. But what you forgot is, light always reveals shadow. Your growth unintentionally makes others feel left behind. They start comparing. They think you're different now. But in truth, you're simply being real after a long time of trying to be convenient. The Five of Wands reveals a subtle tension in your relationships, especially the long-standing ones, the ones that feel like home or the ones within family. They won't say it out loud, but you can feel it. And you always feel it. Because Sagittarius is not just a traveler of the outer world, but a wanderer of the emotional realm. So what should you do? Not shrink back. Not dim your light just so someone else won't squint. But stand tall in peaceful strength. You don't need to prove anything. Let others hold their own perception. But don't let it make you question your own value. In your social circles, this is the time to ask clearly. Who lifts you up without being threatened by your success? Who only loves you when you're easy to control? Who stays even when there's nothing left to gain? Be honest, not to judge, but to see who is truly meant to walk the next part of the journey with you. And in the midst of all that tension, a quiet warmth emerges from the most unexpected place: family. The Ten of Cups reveals something beautiful within your circle of closeness. Perhaps a parent, a child, a sibling, or even a student, a trusted colleague, will bring a quiet kind of joy that makes your heart light up again. Maybe it's news of a child in the family achieving something meaningful, or someone you've been quietly caring for finally sees the truth of your heart. This isn't a material gift, it's a gift of emotion, from those who love you with a genuine heart. Think of moments like these. Perhaps you've lived through them already. You helped someone silently, never asking for anything in return. And years later, they come back, not with a speech, just a simple line: "Because of what you did for me back then, I'm here today." Maybe once, your family didn't understand you. But one day your mother said, "Now I get it, my child." Or a child who once carried pain grows up to become the light of the family. You see it and you realize love is never wasted. Sagittarius, you're not just transforming yourself. You are quietly raising the frequency of the entire soul line you belong to. And that is something not everyone can do. Because you carry the light, not the kind that blinds, but the kind that reveals. And yes, it might cause some to walk away, but it will also call in the souls that were always meant to find you. A few questions for you to sit with and perhaps share in the comments so we can connect through our truths. Have you ever felt lonely just as you began to succeed? Who was the one person who stayed by your side, no matter who you became? Have you ever had to shrink yourself to fit the expectations of family or friends? Your story might be the very thing someone out there needs to hear today. And here is your closing message for this part. You don't need to be loved by everyone. You just need enough courage to love yourself and to receive the love that's real. Don't let someone else's shadow put out your flame, and don't keep shining into places that no longer want your light. Walk forward, carry your light, and trust. You will attract the ones who are ready for it. Dear Sagittarius, some people didn't leave because they stopped loving you. They left because they weren't ready to love a soul as strong and as honest as yours. And as time passed, you learned how to live without them. You healed your wounds with faith, with movement, with the quiet decision to keep going instead of blaming. You've been through so much, and just when you thought you had let it all go, they return. The Six of Cups appears again, like a shadow approaching from afar. Not loud, Not obvious, but present. You feel it before they say a word. A glance on social media. An old song you've played 1,000 times suddenly feels close again. A dream where they show up, not to explain, not to beg, just to stand there and be seen. The universe is testing your heart once more. Not to see if you still love them, but to see how much you've grown. The hangman whispers, not every return is meant to be a reunion. Sometimes people come back not to stay, but to give you the chance to see yourself through wiser eyes. They may not apologize. They may not speak their feelings. They may not rewrite the past. They'll just leave open signals, like a question hanging in the air. Is there still a chance for us? But you're not who you used to be. You know now. Not everyone is meant to walk through your new doors. Some people are best kept in the memory. Ask yourself, if they could no longer hurt me again, would I still want them by my side? Am I missing them? Or just the feeling of being loved? And if someone truly comes back with clear actions and honest presence, listen to your heart. But also, listen to what your soul felt in the silence of the last goodbye. Tarot doesn't tell you to go back. Tarot helps you recognize the truth. Maybe they've changed. Or maybe this time, you're the one who no longer sees them the same way. Have you ever felt this? When someone you once loved so deeply comes back, and you realize your heart no longer moves. When a past connection knocks right at the moment you finally found peace within yourself. When the past calls, but you know you don't belong there anymore. If you felt this, then congratulations. That's not coldness. That's growth. The return of the past this month is your final spiritual test. A test to see, have you let go deeply enough? Have you loved yourself fully enough that you no longer need anyone to validate your worth? You don't need their apology. You don't need them to come back just to heal you, because you've already healed yourself. The universe doesn't bring someone from the past so you can love them again. It brings them back so you can choose yourself again, but this time without regret. Maybe what you need isn't the old hand reaching for yours. Maybe it's a brand new embrace. One where you never have to shrink who you are to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. So let me ask you, is there someone you once loved deeply, but never said a real goodbye to? Are you ready to forgive? Not for them to return, but for your own peace? If they came back today, what would you do differently from the last time? Share in the comments below, not just to connect, but to mark the pages of your healing journey. And if the past is calling your name right now, don't be afraid. Stand steady. Listen if you must. But don't trade your present peace for a beautiful memory that was never meant to be relived. Because Sagittarius, you're not here to repeat old lessons. You're here to write the next chapter, brighter, wider, and more real than ever. Sagittarius, you've just walked through a journey layered with soul, where prophecy met personal truth, where inner tremors gave way to confessions, where courage turned into financial breakthrough, where your light endured, even when you walked alone, and where the past returned, not to reclaim you, but to give you the chance to choose yourself one more time. None of this was random. None of it was by chance. This is the moment you're being invited to walk through a new doorway. A doorway that only opens when your soul is truly ready. You don't have to wait for anyone anymore. You don't need permission to live in your truth. You were not born to ask, you were born to lead. And if your heart is trembling now, because something big is on the horizon, trust it. Because the time has come to walk through that door. This time, you're not just living, you're being reborn. The universe saw you persist in silence, saw you choose to keep going when everything told you to stop. And now the universe is speaking. It's time to harvest. Write in the comments below, I'm ready to walk through the new door. Or share what you're feeling after hearing this, because maybe your story is the light someone else is quietly searching for. If this message touched something in you, click like, so this energy can reach others who need it too. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell, so you don't miss the next message the universe is sending your way. And if you know someone who's standing at the edge of change, just like you, share this video with them. You are not here by accident. You are a chosen soul. And this journey has only just begun. I'll see you in the next chapter, where awakened souls meet, and the light is passed on without fear.